All right, welcome to a special report of Apostate Weekly, everybody. I'm your host, James.
And I'm Ryan.
And coming at you with the intro for today's special show. All right. Oh, look at you, Ryan. You're all ready. You got the glasses on. You're doing the whole geeking out thing today.
Get my Poindexter on right now. I'm on point.
Well, today is a show. Wow. Did not expect this to happen. I know it's already been all over social media. Blast it. I know there's going to be some other. You're blasted.
I was already yesterday. I was blasted out. I was like, we need to get this going.
You're blasted first thing in the morning, though. So what are you talking about?
Well, that's kind of the nice thing about being one of the first people awake in America, is I kind of can be first on the news if I'm smart about it.
Right. Well, see, what really sucks though is, and we've had this happen twice. So first time this happened, we did our show, and then, like, no kidding, like 10, 15 minutes after our show ended, oh, we got 2 new governing body members. So we did a special report on that the following day. Yesterday, we did our show like we normally do. We spent the whole show just talking about the child sexual abuse stuff going on in Pennsylvania. And then 30 minutes later, boom, we got another big bomb that just happened with Tony Morris being deleted, cut, whatever they did to him off the governing body. I'm going to share my screen here and read exactly what was said.
What the announcement was, straight from
on
the
JW.
Announcement.
Straight from the JW.org website. Here's the announcement. I highlighted on Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. It was announced at World Headquarters that Brother Anthony Morris III is no longer serving as a member of the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that to me looks like they might as well have gotten up on stage and said, Brother Morris is no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
It's a very cold announcement.
It is. Because if he had been sick or had health issues, they would have probably said, Brother Morris had to step down from being on the governing body because he's fallen ill or is dealing with this or that. And thank you for all your service, and giving him a better send-off than the cold shoulder on an obscure part of their website, and it's only a one-liner.
Well, this is what I think I've heard from listening to, like, the PMEs and whatnot on, or PMOs, I guess I should say, on, like, Reddit, is that generally speaking, there would be no removal for health reasons. So if he's no longer a governing body member, I doubt it has anything to do with his health, unless it was, you need to step down or we're kicking you off. I mean, we don't know for certain, but generally, if it's just old age, they shouldn't be removed as a governing body member. I mean,
no,
that's so harsh. Like, ooh, how ableist.
I mean, look at Garrett Loesch. He's looking like he's deteriorating, and he's still on the governing body. So, like you said, it's not age.
He's mummified.
And
his face is melting.
Yeah, exactly. Standing too close to the heater. It's like a wax museum.
You know what? I don't generally make fun of people's appearances because, I mean, who are we to judge? But I feel when people are so insidious and disgusting, it kind of just comes with the territory. Their insides and their outsides are just bags of trash. So yes, we will make fun of their melting faces, their bloated bodies, looking like they drank far too much liquor.
Well, and that's just the thing, though. Like, you can tell that they're not really taking care of themselves health wise, anyways. Because I mean, if they were to actually follow their own rule book, they should be disfellowshipped for gluttony. You
It,
know?
yeah, tell me about or now that is a reason to be removed, because if a normal rank and file can be either disfellowshipped or revoked privileges, right? Like maybe you have privileges. If those are revoked, then why not the same standards held for those who are supposed to enforce those rules, regulations? If you created them, you should certainly be able to stand by them.
Oh, and I know this show isn't about politics or anything, but we see it even in politics that those who are higher up
Absolutely.
don't follow the rules and are above whatever
Right.
rules they make. And the same is true with the
Mm-hmm.
governing body. You know, they can get away with just about anything. Now, I am curious as hell what Tony did to be kicked off the governing body,
Yeah. I
as
honestly
we
think
all
we
are.
should take up a vote, like a poll, and figure out exactly what we think
Yeah,
and do some
exactly.
betting on it. Do some betting on it and to see who turns out to be right. I'm hoping that eventually we're going to get some more information, but it seems like he's still at Bethel. That's what those
Yeah.
PMOs are saying. He's still there at the
Now,
compound.
now my thoughts behind seeing that is he still there because he's staying, or is he still there because he's packing up to move out?
Right. Like this could have been just so quick that they're like, okay, you have like
Yeah.
3 days,
Yeah. And that's why reports
7 days.
are saying that he's still there, because he could be packing up to leave.
Right. So this is really all just speculation at this point,
Of
because
course.
this is what I would say. We've discussed their announcement, correct? No fanfare. That took all of 1 moment to write. You could
Yeah.
type that up in under a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What I could type up in 5 minutes might not be a whole huge obituary, but a eulogy. But I would still put thank you for his years of service. We appreciate everything that he's done. Something,
Yeah, something.
something kind. But it was just like, you're
It,
gone.
it
They
was like
removed his picture,
it's like the
but
coldest way to get
yeah,
rid of him. I mean,
yeah,
really, how cold can you be for somebody who has dedicated their life, or the majority of their life, to serving this cult and reach the highest
mhm,
levels, only to get this cold shoulder, like at the snap of a fingers? Hey, you're gone, buddy. It's like, wow, what did he do? That's why we're all just like, what did this guy do? Was it because
yeah,
he was drinking too much? Was it because of the um extreme things he was saying, especially like about Norway and how they're never going to change their shunning policies, being rigid on
right.
that? Was it his apostate talks that he gives? Was it his burnt hot dogs, his tight pants? Was it a culmination of all these things? You
His
know,
pants were too tight, cut off circulation to his head.
well, I mean, he was
The
eating
other
too
one.
much, and I guess they couldn't afford to buy him bigger pants.
He was, I mean, I did that age progression. I don't know if you saw on my channel, but I did an age progression of Tony from like 2012. I should have went back further, but that's when they really started kicking off their videos, was back in 2012. So that's as far back as I went, but I did an age progression, and he just went from looking like a normal dude to a bloated carcass, like doesn't look like his liver or kidneys or something's not functioning right because of his over drinking.
Well, it's also all them burnt hot dogs he's probably eating up there.
And probably, could be dietary. We don't know
Yeah,
exactly, but
we don't
i
know.
i personally think that it could be a whole lot of stress, a whole lot of stress, knowing that they are under attack. Not attack, I'm sorry, excuse me, I want to erase, reverse. They are being held accountable
Yes.
in the court systems all across the world. They are
Mm-hmm.
not being attacked. They are being held accountable just as you
Exactly.
and I would be held accountable to their standards. They need to be
Mm-hmm.
held accountable to the laws in their country, just like the Bible says. They need
Yep.
to listen to those
Absolutely.
put in charge.
Absolutely.
Hi, Jennifer.
And with that, I would there's so much nuance to this situation too, because it's like, do you want to see him expose the Watchtower and be the next Raymond Franz, right?
Well, yes.
Well, obviously yes, but also B, do you want to see it also the courts go up to the highest level in the organization and prosecute him or other members of the governing body for their being complicit in the cover up of child sexual abuse? I mean, there's just so many things that, like, and I don't think we could get both or all of those. It's kind of like you got to pick one
Right.
or the other. And which one would you rather have?
And again, over the next couple of days, I guess we're gonna find. I know that people aren't gonna be able to keep their mouth closed. Everybody wants to know, regardless if you're in or you're out. You can't hear this news and not go, well, what's happening? So we're gonna find out. They're
Yeah.
not gonna be able to keep a secret for too
Oh,
long.
absolutely not. We got too many people leaking inside information, and we're going to find out. Like I said, this just happened yesterday. So
Mhm.
it's like we're still in the shock of this even
Yeah,
happening.
exactly.
We got to recover from the shock. And once we do that, and then we start seeing what's progressing as the days go on, hopefully we'll get more information about it and really find out why he was kicked off.
Ooh, well, how about we talk about some of the things that we maybe can since we can just continue to speculate.
Yeah.
What I do want to mention, I talked to Holy Fade yesterday, and we were discussing some stuff in the chat on the Discord. And one of the things he told me is that they didn't even bother to translate it into other languages. The announcement, it wasn't even translated into other languages right away. That's like, we're talking about, this must have moved so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And other people were saying on Reddit that it was a rushed committee decision, because normally they do these types of announcements on particular like times and days, but
Mm-hmm.
they must have had a committee just to be able to make this announcement, which again, rushed.
Yeah.
These are all indications of like rushing.
Well, one thing we know from Raymond Franz and his book Crisis of Conscience, the governing body members are voted in to become part of the governing body. So we
Mhm.
had 2 new members within the recent weeks that were voted in. Okay. So I wonder if it's the same process for getting rid of one to vote him out. Now that
I
they have
think
more members, was it something that they've been trying to do for a while? So they got more members to get the
I think you're onto
controlling
something.
vote to kick him off.
I honestly think that you are onto something, because this all moved very quickly, considering they just, like you said, we
Mm-hmm.
just had this special
Yeah.
report of 2 new governing body members, and now Tight Pants Tony is,
Yep.
and we know, we've talked about his ego. There is no way this dude would ever step down.
No.
Dude's ego is so inflated, conflated, that I would never see him taking responsibility for anything unless his hand was forced. So
Yeah.
I feel like that could be, like, that is definitely a well thought out speculation, because it's so coincidental.
Yeah.
Within a couple of weeks and he's gone.
Exactly. I mean, to me, that just seems like it just lines up too well to
Yeah.
not have been planned out in advance. So
But why like, right, like, oh, okay, so
I know.
some of it feels like they had to like be preemptively thinking about this, but
Mm-hmm.
then other parts of it feels like it was wham bam thank you ma'am rush job. But there could be lots of truth to both parts of that, even though
Oh
it maybe
yeah.
sounds like it doesn't fit, like, oh, was it rushed or was it not rushed? it could have been something they've been wanting. And then when that opportunity dropped, for whatever reason, they had to take it.
Yeah, and we're gonna come to find out there's a lot of nuance to the situation, and even more stuff that we don't know at present. And like I said, this is all speculation. This is us talking out of our rear ends here, hoping for some things, talking about it, because this is just the big exciting news for the week right now.
Yeah.
But it's the most interesting news as well, I think. I mean, yes, our show yesterday, absolutely, we need to stay on top of that report and follow the investigations in Pennsylvania. 100%. We need to stay on that. But this is also big because the implications that this could have down the road are huge.
Mm-hmm.
What if he gets indicted? What if he gets arrested? I mean, I know this is all what ifs, but
chills.
I'm
like getting so excited thinking about this man actually. I would love for him to understand what we went through, like anybody who's been disfellowshipped and, had no choice and what happened to you inside of the congregation. Like it kind of makes me feel like there's some type of vindication. I know that sounds like really horrible to feel that way, to say that maybe, but truly it feels a bit like a vindication when he will be held accountable as we were, as it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I think about too, what wouldn't it be great if he became the next Raymond Franz and wrote a book or did some interviews with, like the high profile apostates around that, could, have the ones that have like the biggest number of subscribers and everything on their channels for the most people to see it. Because what an impact that would make in waking people up from this cult. And here's my question to you. If he did that, would you forgive him? Would you be willing to look past all the crazy shit he said and done because of what impact he could possibly have?
Oh,
I know that's a tough question, isn't it?
it really is, because I'm such a to my own fault forgiving, and it's bit me. I mean, I've stayed in bad relationships because I'm too forgiving. So I don't know that I'm a great judge when it comes to that, because my heart always wants to leave room for change, because I too have changed. I too have been a shit person. I too have walked a long, perilous road, right? Though I'm not responsible for the death of thousands of people. So there's that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what level of forgiveness I could offer this man. Like I could maybe forgive, but never. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. I hate the dude. I hate
Jennifer,
him.
that's a great question, Jennifer. How is it going to reflect on his sons? Yes, they are pretty high up in Bethel and serving. So, I mean, and that's just how it goes too. Like if I'm in a congregation and my dad's an elder and I do something, he could be removed as an elder. So absolutely, and the problem with that is though, they only care about their appearances when it comes to that. And so this is really what the organization is doing. If they're trying to get them out and shut them up, it's all about appearances. Because they got these two new younger governing body members in. And my thought from the get-go was, are they coming in to make it fresher, make it more palatable to the younger audience down the road?
Right.
And I'm sorry, getting rid of Tony Morris off the governing body makes them a lot more palatable.
Right.
As bad as that is to say, because now you're not going to have his crazy rants going on anymore, waking people up. You're going to have people that are more calm and less crazy looking. And so now they're going to probably hold people in even better. I did it. I went and did it.
Hot dogs. Like,
hey.
but it's those kinds of stunts that will, like you said,
Exactly.
it's not a good look for the PR department to have crazy Tony Baloney talking about tight pants, turning people gay. No, it's just a PR nightmare. So yes, maybe getting some fresh blood, and we know that the young people aren't going to be staying in. The younger generations have access to information. Pew Research, you can look it right on the Pew website. Kids aren't falling for the old okie dokie.
And
They're
unless
doing
you
the
get
research.
baptized, you can't get your driver's license.
And that's what they're doing to keep them in.
Mm-hmm.
The
It's
early baptism.
that's not allowing them to dedicate their life because they want to actually do it. It's manipulating and coercing them to getting baptized so they can get a driver's license.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And once they're in, you're in like Flynn. You're kind of stuck.
I even got that
And
video locked and loaded. Shall we play that?
oh yeah, play it. Why don't you, we really should play it.
Well, I'm not ready to get baptized. Okay, let's hold off on your driver's license. What? I'm 16. What are you talking about? I'm ready. I know I'm ready. Yeah, you're ready for a driver's license, but you're not ready to dedicate your life. Explain that one to heaven.
To heaven.
We repeated
Yeah, I know, right? To heaven? Explain it to heaven while you're ready to get a license.
That before. Okay, I guess he means to Jehovah, or who is he meaning exactly? Explain it to heaven.
Because all JWs don't go to heaven.
Right.
You know?
Dogs don't go to heaven. All dogs don't go to heaven. All dogs go to heaven, but Jehovah's Witnesses do not.
No. And it's just stuff like that is just so like, okay, you talk about baptism. It's supposed to be the most important decision of your life, more important than who you marry, what job you get, everything, according to JW theology. And they want you to do it as a teenager so you can get your license.
Right. Tell me how that's manipulated. That is manipulating people. That is coercion. But I mean, we're talking about like gangster activity under duress, making people do something they truly don't feel comfortable to do. But yeah.
Hey Jay, what are the ingredients to humble pie? What are we going to put in that?
we need to bake one up for Tony.
Yeah.
For his apology. But hey, I would love regardless if he gets Ryan's forgiveness or not, who cares? But what I would love is I'd love for him to turn on the organization.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
They would have a hell of a, like they'd be effed in the B for certain if he turned.
Now, you see, he could, and he could be in a very good position to not even get in trouble, in any legal trouble, if he does, because he could work a deal and say, look, I'm going to give you all the governing body members. I'm going to give you where we hide the database at, the whole 9 yards, if I get immunity. Right. And bam, he would be the hero for all child sexual abuse cases ever under the organization. He would be the hero of all the ex-witnesses, and it would be holding the governing body accountable for their implicit cover-ups.
And considering that these are the men who make the rules, enforce the rules, have supposed strict moral codes, right? These are strict moral codes that we expect our people to live by.
Mm-hmm.
Then in your shepherding the flock book, show me your strict moral code in protecting the vulnerable children, where it says explicitly you must report abuse to the authorities. Why is it nebulous? Why is it vague? Why are your explicit instructions not very explicit when it
Yeah.
comes to the abuse of children?
Just off air before we got on this morning, I was just telling you about my friend I was talking to yesterday on the phone. And
Right.
the question I asked him, and for all our viewers, my friend is still a PME Jehovah Witness. Now he's disfellowshipped and he hasn't been going to meetings, but he still firmly believes it, for just a little bit of context. So we were talking about the child sexual abuse stuff. And he's like, well, yeah, well, it happens in every church. I go, yes, it does. I go, however, if it is supposed to be God's one true organization, shouldn't they be setting the precedent and how to handle these situations over and above all other churches in the world? And he goes, yeah, you're right. I 100% agree with that. Even he could see that. I mean, your Shepherd the
There's
Flock
no
of God
reason.
book, your magazine articles that you've had on it, they do not tell you how to handle it properly at all.
No.
Thus,
And
they
they're
put
not trained regardless.
No, they put the children in the kingdom halls in danger, further danger, and also the children in the whole community in further danger, because these guys aren't being arrested. They're not being registered. And because of that, they're hiding out in the communities, hunting out their next victims.
Right. Other
Plain and
children
simple.
are getting hurt. These poor
Because
children
you're
have
not
no
reporting it properly.
recourse.
And it's
They
so
have no recourse.
simple. It's so simple. Call the cops. Let them handle the legal side. Okay. If your hall's getting vandalized or burned down or whatever, you're calling the police to get that person. Call the cops. Get these people arrested who are hurting your children and those children in the community. You can still disfellowship him. You can still handle your spiritual side of it. I'm fine with that. But call the cops.
Right.
Let him get in prison. Let him get on the registry, and let it be known that this person is a danger to the community. And
I think it's an indication of how bad it is.
your whole problem would be solved.
Absolutely. You'd be like, we've done everything that we could. We've
Yep.
outlined everything they need to do. And that's really all we're looking. We just don't want to see them hiding it. And that is what they're doing. They're taking reports and not instructing people to alert the authorities. That
Yeah.
is a problem. That is a cover up. And to me, it signifies how deeply this problem is inside of organizations like the Jehovah's Witnesses, because otherwise you'd have no problem going straight to the authorities. You would go, if y'all love cops so much, if y'all is a cop country and y'all just love cops in this country, then should you not be like immediately calling them in
Yeah.
these cases? But you don't. You just write it down and then pass it on to the higher ups who put it in a file. That is
Yeah.
no kind of way to protect children.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm without getting into too much detail, I've seen firsthand how the organization handles it, with being in the back room and everything. And this is back when I saw it, they had the victim in the same room as the perpetrator.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And
Mhm.
I remember from that experience, when my wife was pregnant with our first child, that I looked at her and I said, if anybody ever touches our kid, I'm first going to go beat the living hell out of that person. And then I'm going to go call the cops. Because
Right.
I knew, even when I was a PME, that I was not going to go through the elders to have them handle a case like that.
Oh. The dogs were like, hell no. We don't like
Yeah.
that either.
That's right. I'll sick my dogs on them too.
Right. Sick the dogs.
Bite his balls off, Bailey.
But something has to give. Changes need to be made so children can remain safe. I truly think that's what all of us are asking, just reasonable instructions in your codes of conduct, whatever you want to call it, on how to handle abuse. Stop putting it in the hands of men who don't know what they're doing, who have no clue. They have no social skills, nothing.
To answer that question, LOH, I'm most likely not going to be. It's my youngest
I'm going to
son's
try to be.
birthday, and it's in the middle of the work week for me. So I probably won't be able to make it, even though I live 3 hours away from it.
Yeah, I am going to do my best to be there to arrange it. So,
But anyways, you got anything more you want to say on this, Ryan?
well, tomorrow night we will be doing a live, either I'm guessing on, well, probably maybe between my channel and Apostate Coalition, but we're going to do a live and talk about what's going on with Tony, because I think people just want to discuss, and who knows, maybe by then there'll be some more information. Going to keep looking, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We're going to be doing our best to keep people updated what's happening in Spain, what's happening in Pennsylvania, what's happening in Norway, because this is very close to our hearts.
Yeah. Have we narrowed down a time yet by chance, or are we still debating on that one?
I am not sure. Kai said something about, I think it was 8 p.m. PST. So that would be, I think, 6 for us.
Well, no, because we're ahead of her on time. So it would probably be like 8 or 9, I think.
Oh, vice versa. Or yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'm happy with doing it later. I'm absolutely fine with whatever.
And when I say 8 or 9, I mean Eastern time zone for those who are listening. So probably look out for it tomorrow on the Apostate Coalition channel, probably about 8 or 9. For sure we'll put up announcements about it on the YouTube channels. So keep your notifications on so you can get that and join in the chat.
Yeah.
And, it's a big discussion. All these topics are huge discussions and they need to be talked about. And we're going to be doing a roundtable. I'm hoping I can join in. Haven't got it 100% set in stone yet. Just depends on what my wife has me doing tomorrow. That's about it. So.
Yeah, of course. Family takes precedence. We get it. Yeah, LOH, I'm not really sure. I couldn't find much information, but I do continue to Google and see if I can reveal anything. I just know that, I mean, if what Mark O'Donnell said and whatnot does seem like all the elders have had to meet with the lawyers that the Jehovah's Witnesses have hired, the ones that the Catholic Church was using in a few different cases for their CSA cases. And I'm still trying to see if I can figure out who that law firm is that they've hired. As of yet, nothing. But if those elders, I mean, I'm sure it's going to take a while for all that information to get out, but there's going to be elders who are losing their ever-loving minds.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is going to be very troublesome.
I was just talking to my parents this morning, and my dad used to be an elder, and one of the things my mom asked him several times they've been out for 12 years now, is have you ever sat in on cases of child sexual abuse as an elder? And thankfully my dad hasn't, because that could come back even on ex-elders as well, if it comes down to it. So it could be scary for anybody out there who's an ex-elder and out of the organization. If they've handled situations in the historical past, they might be come after as well. Now, I will say, I think that if that is the case, that they at least will have a leg to stand on, because they know better now than what they did then. And they could testify, look, I was following orders. This was, how it was. And they could explain the situation and be like, look, now I know. I would have done things differently had I known the right thing to do. So they might have some leeway and advantage there. But elders who are still in, I think, have less of a leg to stand on. Bye, Dan. Take care. And then the ones who have left because they're still in. They still have to follow the rules. So
at least they have indicated their separation from the Kingdom Hall, that
exactly.
they don't agree with, what happens inside of the organization. So they at least have that. And I hope more than anything.
Excuse me.
No,
Sorry.
Go ahead. What I hope more than anything is that we just get to the bottom of the issue, and it starts at the top, right? The issue starts at the elders, the governing body, those in those departments who are making all these rules and handing them down. So if we could start to see some movement in the rules and removing things like the two witness rule, and better communication with the police departments when we do have issues, I think that this organization, this religion, could possibly be saved. Not that I want them to be saved, not that I care for them to be saved, but I do understand that at the end of the day, they're still humans who think that this religion is the right fit for them, but they are low rank and file, so they're not going to ever be able to fight for their right to have better rules, right? So unfortunately, it might have to happen through the court systems, and if that inadvertently helps them to live better lives because they're not so restricted with the rules. I keep saying rules, but I don't know what else to call them. Standard operating procedures. Then that might be good for the rest of the members. And I'm happy to see that, even though I'm not a fan religion, I'm happy just to see a better religion for them where children can be safe. So if they could get rid of some of these nasty rules like disfellowshipping and the two witness, maybe there's hope for them, but that's going to be on them and not my fault, not my issue.
And that segment was
Inner
dialogue with Ryan.
Ryan,
hey Wally,
to herself. This is Ryan usually all day. Hey Wally, this is Ryan all day, every day, just talking amongst the friends in her head. No biggie. Hey Wally, we just said we're doing a live. I don't know if you're interested or not, but we're doing a live tomorrow night just to talk about the stuff that's happening with the elders and whatnot in PA, the grand jury investigation, and with Tight Pants Tony, because I think everybody just wants to. I think we all just want to do our little evil tinfoil speculation hats right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is like so much fun. I'm sorry. This is like making me.
And that's the problem with not having any information. We just have all these different ideas, and the whole community. I've seen so many different ideas about it. We don't know which one's right.
No. And so it's kind of just, it's kind of fun just to talk. And obviously some ideas are super like, okay, yeah, that's not even, I don't think that's even possible. And there could be a few truths in all of our speculation.
There could be with all the amount.
You can come on, Wally. We want you to come on too if you want, but only if you want, Wally, because I know you're going through and I'm going through changes. No, but if it will cheer you up, we love to.
Well, there goes our viewer count.
0 watching.
Went from 35 to.
Hold on, I'm going to leave my own stream.
Go to the bathroom for that one.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, that is all we're going to do for today. This was actually a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Thank you everybody for joining us for this last minute special report that we threw together. Go ahead.
Just a FYI, I saw that XJW Critical Thinker. If you don't have all your notification bells turned on for your favorite JW players like us, Wally, XJW Critical Thinker, etc., Jonathan, Ex-Witness, make sure you please put your bell on. But XJW Critical Thinker are going live tonight, and I think we all should be there. Shoot the shit. We got to support each other.
Damn right.
Yeah, we're wondering if it's like a DUI or something. Like, who knows? Who knows? But you're right. It's their fault that they've left it to speculation. If their announcement wasn't so nebulous, maybe we know.
If they didn't want speculation to be out there, they would have said what it was.
Exactly. So
End of story.
we're gonna do what worldly people and apostates do best.
Damn right.
We're gonna apostate. So on that note, y'all should apostate your way.
Absolutely. And that's a great closing line. So thank you, everybody. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you can. And as always, thank you for watching. And we will be back next Wednesday with our normal, regularly scheduled program of Apostate Weekly.
Bye, y'all.
All right.
Love you.
Bye.